You don't see the hypocrisy here? Maybe it's like Washington. If there weren't double standards, there wouldn't be standards at all. I mean, it's longer than King Kong's arm here. You recently sent a letter you recently joined a lot of other academics. You signed a letter demanding that elite institutions and universities stop accepting money from fossil fuel companies. Is that correct?
This is correct.
You consider Tulane an elite university?
I would like to think that we have a high standard of excellence in our education and our research.
Okay. Well, the Murphy family of Murphy Oil and the Deming family of Murphy Oil have recently given Tulane $25 million. Have you called on Tulane to give that money back?
Well, it's not, they didn't give that money to my unit or the department or school that I work in.
Have you called on Tulane to give that money back, or you think that's okay for them to keep it?
It's their prerogative, not mine.
Okay. Yet you just signed a letter saying that all elite universities should refuse fossil fuel money. Did you put a footnote in there and say, except my own?
Well, what I'd like to say, Senator, is that I believe it raises a conflict of interest for those that research climate change that are supported by the fossil fuel industry.
Yeah, but then why don't you ask Tulane to give the $25 million back?
Well, I think in the context, if that money were to be used to support climate research, information, disinformation, or whatever it may be, then that may be an appropriate conflict of interest. But I think in the context of which
you don't see the hypocrisy here?
It is a hypocrisy in those that may read and interpret it as such.
Maybe it's like Washington. If there weren't double standards, there wouldn't be standards at all. Let me ask you this. You also participated in another article here criticizing Houston for building new buildings and McMansions. And you said, I'm going to read your quote. I don't want to misquote you, Professor. That means we have to change our consumer preferences. You could have a super efficient, energy efficient mega mansion in Houston or the suburbs, but it's still a mansion. You're still over-consuming space. Did you say that?
Yes, sir. That's based on work as a member of the IPCC. Our research suggested that reducing our footprint in terms of total spatial footprint would have significant impacts on the decarbonization of the built environment.
And so you're saying that people should live in smaller houses because larger houses contribute to CO2 emissions?
100%, Senator.
Okay. Well, recently, Tulane finished the Commons. It was 77,000 square feet, $55 million. Recently, Tulane finished the Gold Ring Woldenberg Business Complex, $35 million to complete, 92,000 square feet. Boy, that's a McMansion. Musafir Hall, 23,000 square feet. Paul Hall, 36,000 square feet. Richardson Hall, 50,000 square feet. Housing redevelopment phase 1, 230,000 square feet at Tulane. Have you called upon Tulane to stop these buildings?
Sir, the habitable space within those units are roughly the size of the conference room back there and are indeed quite small.
But they contribute to
everything that we do, sir.
Does the Commons contribute more to climate change than a McMansion in Houston? You were pretty quick to criticize the people of Houston for wanting to build, you thought, McMansions. But you don't criticize your own university?
I don't find that to be equivocal comparison between space meant for students who must reside at a university.
You don't see the hypocrisy in that?
It is your finding and interpretation, sir.
But you don't see the irony of the hypocrisy?
I'm going to go ahead and say no.
Okay. I kind of gathered that would be your answer. Governor, good to see you. You live in a big house, don't you?
Currently, I do, yes.
How big is the governor's mansion?
I don't know the square footage, but it's large, and it's 60 years old this year. You ought to come by and
I
see,
need to get by.
Work.
Well, the professor from Tulane doesn't like that. Judge Mehalchick, you remember a case called Yentzer v. Potter County?
I have a recollection that I presided over that case. I don't know if I recall the details of it.
Okay, and you were reversed, is that right?
I believe that was a case that I issued. I was a magistrate judge in that role and in the referral role on it, and it was reviewed by the district court, yes.
And you were reversed, right?
I don't recall in that case if the report and the recommendation was adopted in full or not adopted
Well,
in full,
the,
but yes.
the higher court said you incorrectly analyzed qualified immunity, and you incorrectly cited the 11th Amendment. Do you remember a case called Myers v. Clinton County Correctional Facility?
I recall that case as well.
And you were reversed in that case too, weren't you?
I believe it was adopted in part, yes.
Do you remember a case called Dennis v. Sheridan?
Yes, I believe I recall that case as well.
And you were reversed in that case too?
I believe that R&R was not adopted in full, correct, yes.
Okay, but you were reversed.
It was not adopted, yes,
Is that
by
the
the
same
district
thing
court.
as being reversed?
It's a different, the district court declined to adopt the report and
The higher
recommendation
court
in
said
full.
you were wrong.
The district court disagreed with my report, yes.
Yeah, okay. Do you remember a case called Shania v. East Pennsboro?
Yeah, the Shanias are pro se plaintiffs who have brought a number of cases, so I'm not
Right,
sure which
right.
one you're referring to, but yes.
I'm just curious, you were reversed in that case too, were you not?
In part, yes.
Okay. Do you remember a case called Spanier v. Libby?
Yes, I do.
The president of Pennsylvania State University was convicted of covering up child sex abuse crimes. And you let him go on a habeas corpus petition. And the Third Circuit reversed you, is that right?
I directed that a new trial should be held with a different jury instruction, and the Third Circuit disagreed and found that he had received the due process he was entitled to, yes.
Well, the Third Circuit said you failed to cite, analyze, or properly apply the relevant case law. You were reversed, right?
The Third Circuit reversed my decision, yes.
Okay. Do you remember a case called Hassel v. Centric Bank?
I vaguely recall that case, yes, Senator.
You were reversed, weren't you?
I believe the district court failed to declined to adopt my recommendation,
Okay.
yes.
Do you remember a case called Ramsey v. Amtrak?
Yes, I do.
And the higher court reversed you in that case too, didn't they?
The district court concluded that I was correct in finding that the petitioner did not pay a filing fee, and where I had recommended that the case be dismissed, he granted the petitioner 30 days to correct that.
So you were reversed in part,
Yes.
okay? Do you remember a case called McCracken v. Fulton County?
Yes, I do.
You were reversed in that case too, weren't you?
I believe that was in part, yes.
You remember a case called Bird v. Britton?
I do.
And were you reversed in that case?
In part, yes.
Okay. You remember I'm sorry. You remember a case called Allen v. Lackawanna County Board of Commissioners?
I believe I recall that case, Senator.
And you
I'm not
were
sure.
reversed in that case too, weren't you?
I believe I was reversed in part in that case, yes.
You remember a case called Daniels v. Capital One Bank?
Yes.
And I believe you were reversed in that case too?
I believe it was, yes, I believe so.
Do you remember a case called Downey v. Pennsylvania Department of Corrections?
Yes, I recall that case.
And were you reversed in that case?
Yes, I believe I was.
Remember a case called Rejean v. Wetzel?
I vaguely recall that case, yes, sir.
And were you reversed by a higher court there too?
I believe that our report and recommendation was not adopted in full.
Okay, I don't have time to finish this list. I mean, it's longer than King Kong's arm here. You've been reversed a lot. In fact, you've been nominated before, haven't you?
No, I have not, sir.
Well, your nomination was talked about, and Senator Toomey refused to send in a blue slip for you, did he not?
I'm not sure exactly what happened. I know that this process has been ongoing for 2 years.
Yeah, but you know that Senator Toomey refused to even, thought you were so unqualified that he refused to even allow the Judiciary Committee to consider you. Isn't that correct?
I do not know what Senator Toomey's reasons were. So
You've never talked to Senator Toomey about it?
I never discussed it with Senator
And you
Toomey,
don't
no.
know anything about a blue slip being withheld on you?
I do not know.
You're under oath.
I am under oath, and I know I did not speak with Senator Toomey about his reasons for not.
Was Senator Toomey's concerned that you were unqualified?
Again, Senator, I did not speak with Senator Toomey or his staff about his reasons for not supporting me.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
She knows.